I spy a freak with my wee little eye. I'm Michelle. This is my so-called handmade life. I have a blog by the same name, and that's my name on Instagram. On Ravelry, I am Mamatronic. This is a knitting, crochet, whatever I feel like making and talking about kind of podcast. And I ask you questions, and hopefully you answer in the comments each episode, and that guides what we talk about the following episode. I found myself as I rework my blog, get things ready to kind of integrate with this YouTube channel, I found myself asking the same questions I asked when I started this 5 years ago. Is there really room for another knitting podcast? 5 years into making knitting vlogs and maybe 58 episodes to show for it. Am I just hack? Or am I healthy? Or just too busy to really dig into it until now? It was kind of an existential vlog crisis. I started this with so few expectations. I think I was just lonely and wanted to have a knit group, and talking to the camera would suffice. I thought I would try this along with my blog, just as a complement to it. I just want to delve a little more into the conversation that goes along with crafting and knitting, say. What I'm missing is a group that I knit with. I don't have that here. If my goals were to delve into the conversation more and find a little creative community in the knitting or crochet world, I feel like I did it. We did it. I have been working so hard on learning different things about my site, developing it. I'm so proud of how it looks. That was a lot of work, but it's pretty much finished. I still have to reorganize categories, adding things like schema, that word, schema, snippets, permalinks. Ugh, they're like curse words to me now. And I want to stay true to those goals that I had way back when. I want to make more and therefore talk to you guys more about it, so vlog more. But I want to integrate it with my blog. If vlogging and blogging more keeps you guys interacting and encouraged, and we're having fun doing stuff together, totally a success. If I make weird videos that only I enjoy watching immensely, to the cringing thumbs down of the world, success. That's my goal. Now, let's just get to the knitting, right? Here's what I've been doing. This is what I went camping last week. You can see that on my Instagram. I went camping and I brought my test knit for Shannon Cook of Very Shannon. It is a sweater design. I'm not going to talk about it much or show much. I'm just basically going to show what I did on my Instagram because it's a test and it's not finished. But it's very lovely, and I'm finally getting to knit cables again, which I wanted. Let me just show you the yarn. That's pretty true to the color. This is wool stock worsted. I think I got it at Firefly Fibers, and it's the October Sky colorway. So when I picked it, because we're stash busting, right? I mean, we're not doing the knit along anymore, but I told you I'm going to continue stash busting for eternity. And I'm trying to let stash amounts determine what I use for projects. So I probably wouldn't have chosen this color right now, but this yardage most matched the yardage required for the pattern. And I didn't want a ton of leftovers. I want to be smart about the way I use things. So this is kind of a denim colorway. It's heathered slightly. I like that these are 150 gram skeins, so they're huge. They all flew off my ball winder while I was winding them up because they were so big, but less ends to weave in. Anyway, I love this. I'm excited. It looks a lot smaller than it will when it blocks out. I made it to have some positive ease and to be nice, cozy sweater. I love all of Shannon's designs. I've knit many of her designs, and she was probably the first, she was one of the first people online to encourage me to try knit-alongs. And I don't know that she's ever hosting those anymore, but I really enjoyed all of her knit-alongs. And that is where, in fact, I think I mentioned it in my very first episode, that sense of community, I was missing it. And so that's why I started doing the podcast. So also, while I was camping, I brought, just in case I got a little cooled off in the summer heat, I brought my Fernwood cardigan from Jane Richmond. I can't try this on again, but it's really no different. I just don't have space where I am. I'm in here so that everyone else can play Call of Duty wherever they want, and this is pretty quiet. But I'm this far on the sleeve. So I have a ball and almost a second ball left. I feel pretty certain I know I have enough to do the other sleeve. Will I have enough for pockets? I'm not sure. This is Lion Brand Thick and Quick in the Raisin colorway. It is a tweedy eggplant type color and pretty consistent, I think, every time I see it in the store. So I could bring this sweater in and pick up another ball for the pockets if it matches. I feel like I have another ball. I feel like when I was digging this out of my closet, I feel like I had a ball that fell, and I just have to dive in and get it. So I didn't work on it though while I was camping. I just got into that test knit as much as possible because I want to finish on time. Now back to everything but the knitting, right? I asked you guys if you still go to blogs because I was, talking about kind of revitalizing mine. Do you still read blogs? And if you do, only irregularly, like occasionally, what do you go to them for? I asked and you guys answered. Lori said that she doesn't read blogs, but she thinks she would read mine, which brings an interesting point up that I heard over and over. You might not do it, but you would for the person. Like, I think blogs are now a thing that we do out of almost a commitment to the brand or the personality or the whatever, the organization, depending on what kind of site you're going to. Katie saves tutorials for YouTube, but like Lori alluded to, blogs are all about the blogger for her. Their take on like whatever activity or thing they're making or images, all of that, their musings, they're of interest because of who they are and what it reveals about them, I'm guessing. I'm also there for the person, but I often find there's a undercurrent. There's something beneath these personalities that they have in common that draws me to them. It's usually like authenticity. They might make me laugh. And usually it's kind of a DIY nature to their site or their vlog. Beth also uses YouTube for DIYs and how-tos, but she'll stay on a channel or a site for the conversation. She likes a conversational style of video and likes to see into people's lives, how they live, where they live, what they do. I'm thinking right now of some vloggers who have just beautiful footage of everyday life on their farm or in the woods by their house. But honestly, I like people who are a mess and you're just seeing their mess around them. In fact, I really love freezing the frame and looking at details in people's homes. It's not like I do like home decor and design, but it's not like I'm looking for their aesthetic style. What is that print of? I keep seeing it. Or that book on the table, they're clearly reading it right now. What is that title? I love to do that. Jennifer did and still does read blogs. She misses those daily updates, the style of post, that nobody does anymore. And she even had a blog while living on a sailboat, which I think is so cool. So blogs for her are the best place to find information. It's easy to go back and find things, whereas trying to look up details on someone's Instagram feed is a mess. And I've found that if it's an ongoing project, it's just not, Instagram's not the greatest place to show consecutive things. So she feels like, link to those blog posts from your social media, but the blog should be the home base, and that's what I want mine to be. I love archival type weblog posts. Like, no one even uses that term blog much anymore. It's site, because it sounds so professional. I love a weblog. I love going back to somebody's archives, and I have archives set up on this my blog right now. You can search by categories, tags, or years, and I'm cleaning some of that up, like the categories, but I'm still gonna have all the tags. So here's the thing about archival type weblogs: they were so unpolished and unself-conscious. I miss that. Sometimes I will go to a blog that's probably been disbanded, but they still have it online, and I will go and I will dig into, and I'll flip back to the first year they started making posts and just read, and it's been 15 years, 10 years, whatever. I love that so much. So Jennifer read Soul Mama, that blog. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it was Amanda Soul, I think. She did crafting and homemaking. She took a lot of great photos, and she made a book. And I just assumed she was done with blogging, because usually at that time, in 2010s, people are making books and they move into something else, or their blog became a site. And she has several books, and the most recent one has to do with I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. I caught something from my husband. Always that way. It's never the other way around. The Creative Family Manifesto is the name of the book. I'm interested in it. So all of this has been on my mind. I've been thinking about what you say, and I feel like the consensus here is that we all watch videos, but if we do go to a blog, we're usually drawn by the person. So it has to reflect your personality. To me, I can tell, and I've gotten really good at reading, when something is just content creation drivel. It's just rehashed 10 million times from one blog to the next, to the next, to the next, or AI generated. It reads so weird. It's so lazy. And as I think, what can I have to offer that no one else does? Then I realize I do something that no one else on the internet does. And I did it in the last episode. And did you even notice? It's like, I spy a freak with my wee little eye. I showed something you will never see on another knitting podcast. I showed a completed sock without a heel turn. I totally did. It felt like something was wrong. I knit the entire sock in the dark. I'm using this now, okay? I'm using this now to knit. I had it before, but I let the charge run out. I've got my charger ready to go by my phone charger. I use this now. I knit the whole thing in the dark, sleepy, probably watching some subtitled anime something, and it looked weird. And I thought, well, I did make it like the size up, because I said I wanted squishy, scrunchy, big, comfy Christmas socks. And it was definitely that, because I didn't turn the heel at the bottom. I'll show you what it looked like before. It's now turned, okay? It just looked so odd. And I thought, what is the deal? Clearly, I'm not going for knitting authority in this vlog or on my blog. But these are finished. I got them both done. I had to go rip back because, you know, I totally toyed with the idea of, can I just like stick it in a slipper and not care? And I was like, no. I am a hashtag the lazy knitter, but I don't think I can be that lazy. I mean, that just comes to I don't know. That's the kind of thing that creates a stone bruise on your foot. Oh, look, I have an end still. Regina, I haven't woven in my ends. Okay, so here they are. I call them accidental Christmas socks because even though I didn't do it accidentally, the colorway just looks accidentally very Christmassy. It's Jade District in Hawthorne by Knit Picks, and it's the accidental no heel turn socks. I did the 64 stitch cast on. I did a 1-1 twisted rib, and then I just started in down to about here, and then I did just a basic heel turn. I think I actually used the heel turn from Olivia of This Handmade Life. Her, oh, crap. I'll put it down at the bottom. They had a fold over cuff. They were super cute. I can't wait to wear them when it's cold again. But this is my finished product. I don't mind the barber pulling. I loved it, in fact, and I think these are fun and they look real Christmassy. And then I did a contrast colorway, which is also a Hawthorne hand paint that's discontinued now. I felt like these they aren't the same color. I mean, this color is somewhere within Jade District, but I like the way it looks. I'm satisfied. Just another pair of Christmassy socks. And so to have something to do in a movie or whatever, I cast on another pair out of stash. Those were, I don't think those count really as stash busting because I bought that. I had to get something on Knit Picks, and I went ahead and got a skein of this because it was on sale right before my stash busting started. This is a Pattons Croy colorway, tourmaline stripes. Have you noticed that Pattons, I can't find it in any of the hobby stores around me. No Joann, no Hobby Lobby, not even Michael's, I don't think. It's like they're not selling it anymore. They've all gone to selling their own brands, but I don't think they sell any brands as good as this Croy. And these are the colors you can see here. So I started it, and then just because it was kind of like, this is a total jumbled mess, it was kind of getting boring, repetitive. I just started making textural stripes. So just, you know, a little garter ridge here and there, no big deal. I did it as colors changed, and it's kind of following a little pattern, I guess. But the effect is like it's scrunched up. It looks like, I'm just calling them my scrunch socks. Do you remember those of you who were alive in the late 80s or in junior high, say? Do you remember how everyone had those big thick socks and you would pull them up and then you would scrunch them down your leg? Scrunch socks. I think there's a pattern somewhere on Ravelry. I might show it here. I feel like I saw where someone made those. I've always thought, I just need to make a pair of those for fun to wear around the house. And of course, like all white Reeboks are back in style. Scrunch socks would totally work with that. I think someone did actually do that pattern idea. So, do you guys ever do that? Just like you're knitting something straight stockinette and you think, this is boring, I'm gonna add to it. Well, that's what I did there. So as far as things I'm working on, that's it. I will say I did, I forget which color I had for the, I think it's called Khaled shirt that I showed you, I think 2 episodes ago, of the summer knits I want to make in Lindy chain fingering yarn from Knit Picks. I had one of the colors, but I didn't have the other. I think it was the linen color that I needed, sort of a tan. I don't have them with me. They're upstairs, and I'm not gonna go interrupt Call of Duty Zone to get them. So once that test knit's done, I'm ready to move into a summer knit. And I had one more summer knit. It's a Tony Lipsy bag pattern. And where I guess I've been putting off crocheting a garment. I don't mind the idea of crocheting something, but I would like it if it was something that could be variable in size. That way, if I screw up and make it really big, it's cool. It's meant to be like a cozy weekend sweater. I believe it called for, yes, cotton, 24/7 cotton in Lion Brand, and that's what I got. Basically, I just paid shipping for this. And I got these 3 colors to make it. And I feel like these kind of make me think of that rainbow baby blanket. I'm still chasing that 70s retro color palette, I think. So some summer knits will happen eventually. Another thing I've been doing, I've been looking for like old planters from like the 60s, 70s. I guess it's the Ungamak company. Is that how you say it? I just love these. And succulents on sale. You can't beat that. Our H-E-B, it's like our regular store here where we get our groceries. One in a nearby town has a garden department, and it's mostly native type plants, things that easily grow here, and they're so cool. And that's where I get all of these. Or some of them are babies from things in my backyard, but isn't that great? I think it's trying to find me. Here you go. I just love this dip dye look. Ugh, so good. I lost half of my plants in the winter freeze, and outside plants. And I was so pleased to see that all of the native plants in my backyard just going crazy. It soothes my heart from losing some plants that, you know, were passed down to me from my grandmother. So I've been, I guess I said, okay, well, at least I've kind of culled the collection. It's manageable now. And then I go and I start finding old pots and things at like Goodwill, and finding things online, and just refilling the house with plants and the patio, but whatever. So that's what I've been up to lately. You guys let me know if you have any knitting or crochet dilemmas that you would like to see covered here or on the blog. Any issues at all, like that has to do with crafting, knitting or crochet, yarn, whatever. Any problems that you have that we could solve together, maybe. Please comment here and let me know. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. And I guess I'll see you very soon. Bye.